Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon and good morning, wherever you are in the world. We are so excited that you're here for Wellness Wednesday once again. Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole Barone. I'm a certified health coach here from New Jersey, and I'm so excited that you're here with us tonight. I'm really honored to be the host tonight of this Wellness Wednesday, and you are in for an amazing treat. I'm really excited because we have a fantastic speaker that's going to share more about Three International's 7 life-changing products, as well at the end, hear 3 testimonies from fantastic individuals that had some really amazing experiences with these products. So I'm really excited to share a little bit more with you tonight and introduce you to our guest in just a moment. For those that don't know me, again, my name is Nicole Barone. I'm so honored and thrilled to be here tonight. I wanted to share with you a little bit about me. So my background was in pharmaceuticals. I was over 20 years ago in pharmaceuticals for a Fortune 500 company. And, I really felt that I was in a position of healthcare, but I really saw the shift back then into sick care. And I really found that, a lot of the doctors were stressed out, treating symptoms, really reacting to patients that were coming in with different ailments, but never really getting to the root cause. And it was this shift for me that I realized that I had to take, a different approach for my family, for my life, and for, just my purpose in what I wanted to do. And that shift was really more of a holistic way. As I was sharing with you, I called on the top doctors in New York City, and they would say, Nicole, I just don't have the time to talk about lifestyle modifications and help my patients the way I want to because I'm so limited on that. They come in here and I have to treat them. So that's what I saw. And so, well over 20 years ago, I saw that change. I became a certified health coach to have more of a holistic focus in my life. And then 18 months ago, I was introduced to Three. Now, at first, I was thinking, okay, what is this about? There's a lot of supplement companies out there. Is this just something that's sort of me too? But as I dove in, I was really surprised when I learned about Three cellular absorption technology and liposomal delivery. It just clicked for me. I was so surprised. This is not another supplement company. This was something different. This was something truly groundbreaking. And I'm so excited that you guys are here tonight to take a listen because I said yes to Three based on what I learned and based on the science. And I'm so excited. Tonight, I'm going to introduce to you the most amazing speaker, and you're going to take a deeper dive into these products and learning about how they work at a cellular level and why we're really making a huge impact on health and wellness across the globe in 14 countries plus and growing, as we say. So I'm really ready for you to discover and learn a little bit more about how maybe we can help you or for some of those people that you love as well too. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce to you our speaker tonight, Adrienne Carbonell from Texas, USA. I'm so excited for you guys to get a chance to meet with her. Adrienne is a certified personal trainer for over 2 decades. She's a nutrition coach. She built wellness programs for really living better and just kept, really helping and serving individuals. She's a 3-time award-winning national bikini competitor. Amazing. And she's coached so many women to do just that and really have optimal wellness as part of their life. So without further ado, please welcome Adrienne Carbonell.
Well, hello, Nicole. So good to be here with you tonight. I'm
Thank
excited and I love your story. I just want to say that, like, that's so inspiring. And, I get that, like, you're around doctors and health professionals, and at the same time, not everybody has all the answers. And, when you're in pharma, you're going around and you're, selling drugs, right? But at the
you.
same
Yeah.
time, like, we're doing our best. And that's why they call medical professionals that they have practices because they're practicing, right? And so I get it. I love your curiosity that you were like curious to dive into like, hey, how could we resolve this? So neat that you became a certified health coach. So I'm excited to be here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited for everyone to kind of hear about your perspective, working with so many individuals, being a personal trainer, bettering your health and your life of those that you've worked with. And, I guess the big question is like, why did you say yes to Three?
Yeah. So for me, I mean, yes, I've been a certified personal trainer for over 2 decades. I started when I was a baby. I was in college. I was 18 years old, and I thought this will be fun, is kind of what I thought, right? But I'd kind of gone through this traumatic experience, which is why I even said yes to diving into more, physical activity at the time, as I think I was using it as a way for myself to sort of de-stress my own life, even at a young age. And I look back, and so what happened was the stressful thing that happened is, and I'm laughing. I really shouldn't be, but I mean, it's weird that I chose that path. But my grandfather was an internal medicine doctor. My grandmother was a nurse. He really wanted me to be a doctor. Like from the time I was 8 years old, he was like, I was like reading little books on how to do like, open heart surgery, and I like knew where to cut the aorta and stuff. So I sort of had this uh, a very curious mind towards human body and human body systems. I was always really good at science and biology and all of that, really all made sense to me. Cellular biology was like fun. I thought it was cool. Like, what does it mean to be permeable? Like just, I mean, I was such a nerd. Let's put it that way. Maybe I didn't have very many friends, but I was kind of nerdy. But I kind of got into it. And then what happened is my grandfather passed away. He ended up having a heart attack, and he had some other underlying issues, type 2 diabetes, things like that. He was having a hard time controlling his stress level and his blood pressure and all of that. And a lot of that was due to, yeah, poor diet, lack of exercise. He didn't sleep very much. And he was really tired and stressed out. And I know there's probably people on this call right now who know what that feels like, or know somebody who knows what that feels like. And, medical professionals too, they have so much stress in their life, right? They're out there helping everybody else. And at the end of the day, oftentimes they're an afterthought. But even moms feel that way, right? Like even, lots of people feel that way. I'm working 9 to 5. I have very little time to work out. So everybody can probably relate to that. But that one hit me hard because it was like a hero of mine had passed away. And I thought to myself, like as a young 18-year-old, I thought, wow, maybe if he'd exercised more, or, something like that, he would have been less stressed, or, really impacted my life. And so that's why I thought, well, I'm going to do that. I'm gonna go into, I wasn't particularly active as a kid. I did ballroom dancing and cheerleading and stuff, more like very girly type activities, you know. But so I was kind of intrigued, and I wanted to dive into that. And so I did, and that made sense to me in a lot of ways. Like physical activity made sense, and I felt good, and I felt that I was helping other people feel good, in the gym and coaching and things like that. But pretty soon I realized about 90% of the time that I couldn't go home with my client, right? I couldn't go home and be in their house and be like, clear your pantry out. Hey, don't eat the donut. Hey, that sugar is not good for, stuff like that. I could say it, but at the end of the day, they had free will, free choice, right? And so that's what made me dive into the wellness coaching and started, taking courses on that. I know you're a certified health coach too. So, it's kind of fun though, but yeah, it sparked me to dive into that. And then once that started happening, I really started, like, the equal amount of passion I had for the human body. I really started studying nutrition and what foods make sense. And, why can we eat this much healthy food and get this much nutrition, but everybody seems to eat this much junk food and only get this much nutrition? Like, what's the allure? So, we have addictive personalities. A lot of us, we don't realize how much, hidden sugar and sodium and things are in our food. We don't realize how many toxic chemicals and addictive chemicals in our food. I think, there was a study that just came out that said Chick-fil-A uses 3 different types of MSG, but it's not just the MSG, my friends. It's the fact that it's an addictive chemical. Like, it makes you crave it more, things like that. So, I think I'm not perfect, I will say, like, I don't eat a perfect diet or anything like that all the time. I want people to live their lives. And that's something I didn't realize till after a decade of coaching. I was so hardcore for so long. And I spent 15 years as a cleanse coach and teaching people how to do fasting and, all that kind of stuff. But I realized again too, that it needed to be simple enough that they would do it on a daily basis. Right. So like if I were to, usually when I'm doing a health lesson or something, if I'm sitting in a room, I say, how many of you guys have ever done a cleanse? Or how many of you guys have ever done a diet? Or how many of you guys have ever, exercised more than an hour a day? Or, things like that. Everybody's tried something, right? But are you doing it now? And the majority of the people will be like, no, that was fun. It's something that when it becomes too extreme, it doesn't become a true lifestyle habit. And so I switched from, creating online programs to, help people just really adopt daily wellness habits that made sense. So, yes, I offered a lot of weight loss programs as well, but at the same time, equally important to me was making sure that people understood balance and that they understood why they needed to supplement their diets as well. Even when I would do bikini competitions and physique shows myself, there was a huge balance in that. Um, I learned a lot. I also learned that the majority of the people standing behind that stage who've spent hours of time working on their bodies to look look ideal and perfect in a lot of ways, were highly insecure. The majority of the time, they still were very nervous. They still struggle with a lot of emotional and, really mental issues as well. So that became a thing for me at one point. Are you getting a feel for where I'm headed with this?
Yeah.
And so I realized that whole wellness is, it is mental, it is physical, it
Mhm.
is emotional, it is spiritual in a lot of ways too. It's how are you treating your body? What kind of traumas have you been through? Obviously, as a female personal trainer, I would say 78% of my clients were women. And the majority of them, I started asking on an intake form. I would say, what do you consider to have been a traumatic experience in your life? And without a doubt,
Mm.
every single one of them had what they considered to be a traumatic experience. So that plays a part. It plays a part in your mental wellness. Your mental wellness plays a huge part in this hand to mouth motion. What does that mean for you? So all sorts of those habits. But at the end of the day, I realized people were eating a lot of food and they were still lacking in nutrition. And, you could work out all day long, but if you're nutritionally devoid, if you're unbalanced in that way too, you're going to struggle with recovery and, again, retention, being able to maintain your active lifestyle. So I really dove into, supplements. And I realized not all supplements are equal, and there's
Mhm.
huge differences in certain type of supplements that people take. And, why do medical professionals typically say no to supplements? It's because they're highly under regulated, right? They're not FDA approved. So you do have to be careful what kind of supplements you're purchasing off Amazon or off the internet or something. You kind of
Mm.
need to be careful. So, that I'm happy, so happy that I found three because three changed the game for me. I mean, after all of
Mm.
these years, it's like three became sort of this blanket that I was able to just wrap myself and others in that made sense. It was simplified. They were receiving really good nutrition on a really high level. The science made sense to me. I didn't want people to waste their time and money on things that didn't work. I mean, half the time people are doing that. They're just urinating them out. They're also devoid of nutrition, but not with three.
Yeah.
And so to me, that was my favorite part of joining three is, seeing the science, how the products are put together. I mean, and Dr. Dan's phenomenal, right? And so I couldn't deny
Thank
what I
you.
was seeing with Dr. Dan, just how amazing he was. 20 years of experience, formulated over 17 different supplements, and his science background, Caltech trained and organic chemistry. So to me, it's like very rarely do you, go over to Costco and you pick up like some,
Yep.
quercetin or something. Do you know who actually the lab
Exactly.
person behind that is? So,
Exactly.
so I
Yeah.
like knowing who's making my products. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that's been the biggest part. I mean, you hit so many great points there. Oh my gosh, absolutely love it. And I love, you sharing your background and really your why, like why you're doing this for,
Yeah.
really helping and serving so many other people, but sort of the behind the story of it because we are, all spiritual, emotional, beings, right? And so there's a lot of different factors that play into it. But I think you're right. I think I've always thought the same. There's things that we know we need to take, right, that are important, zinc and vitamin C, but like where do we get it and is it going to be absorbed? And you made such a good point because there's so much out there in that big space, right? And it's so confusing, right? You can go on Instagram or social media and see somebody post. I'm like, maybe I need that, maybe I need that, but for
Right.
me, it was never backed by science. So I just didn't really, it was a gray area. And now I don't feel it is. And I love that you said, what makes so different about three. I think that's really great. I would love for you to share a little bit about your thoughts on what you think are, the best products that you think for Three International with as it relates to like inflammation. We're very inflamed beings. um,
Yeah.
and can you share some thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, 78% of people are walking around in an inflamed state just due to poor nutrition or lack of nutrition or overload of toxicity that their liver and kidneys are not flushing out readily. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to to know how to address it, because for a lot of people it's chronic and for some people it's acute. And so it's important to have products that help with that to reduce inflammation. Really, the difference between Three's products too is the fact that they're cellular absorbed. They absorb up to 95% into the body. We explore. Dr. Dan has a whole Explore series. He curates these products to provide specific benefits to your body's needs, and then the absorption is what makes our product unique, is using 12 different cellular delivery modalities to really maximize your delivery of the nutrients into the cell on a cellular level. So to me, that was a big deal. So Three really is the global leader in bioavailable wellness products, making sure that they're proactive wellness solutions. So when we talk about inflammation, you can actually take other companies' supplements and still be in an inflamed state because you're not actually absorbing the nutrition appropriately. But I love this because we do have 6 products that you actually ingest, 1 you put on your face, but you're talking about inflammation, right? You're talking about inflammation. And so real quickly, I can share with you a little bit about what the products look like as well as what they
Oh,
show.
that'd be great.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just for visual aid, I think it's important too. So, one of our best products for reducing inflammation in the body and helping you being able to keep moving and, have more increased flexibility and mobility and range of motion is Revive. All of our products have third-party studies, but Revive has its own study that's based on how taking 2 Revive a day can actually reduce something called superoxide, which is an overproduction of bad inflammation in the body. So maybe you struggle with certain joint issues. Maybe, you've been diagnosed with something that has to do with joints and mobility and things like that. This is the product for you. It's all about renewal and recovery, supporting healthy joints, like it says here on the slide, promotes exercise recovery. But for me, I think the biggest thing I noticed about Revive when I first started with it is I personally have struggled with an autoimmune disorder that I was diagnosed with after I had my twin girls. And right after that, I was really tired. I was struggling. And they said, oh, you have hypothyroidism. Well, with that came a lot of different symptoms, that I was just like, oh, I had to do a whole research on that once that hit me. Well, so when I started in with this product, I noticed that oftentimes I would wake up in the morning with kind of stiff fingers or puffy fingers if I had maybe a glass of wine or I had too much wheat or something like that from the day previous. Taking 1 to 2 Revive completely gets rid of that for me. And it does it in like 20 to 30 minutes. So I'm absolutely obsessed with Revive. We onboarded a orthopedic surgeon today, which was a lot of fun because I said, what do you think your favorite product's going to be? And he said, well, Revive, right? Of course.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
love, love, love this product. But there is a trifecta when it comes to inflammation in the body, and it starts in the gut as well. So I really love Purify because as a cleanse coach, I value daily whole body detox. And what I mean by that is instead of doing like a juice fast or, juicing celery for days or, things like that, you can get everything you need to help prime your 5 major organs, your liver, your lungs, your colon, your kidneys, and skin. Those are all pumps. They're pumps in the body. They know how to bind to heavy metals and artificial sugars. They know how to shuttle toxins out of the body. But because we're just so bombarded on a regular basis, this product comes in and it makes it look easy, right? It has things in it like humic shell in there. It has in there burdock root for the liver. It's got, it's just amazing. So yeah. So I mean, I was going to go into all the ingredients. I'm not. Ask the person that invited you on to send it to you. But what I can tell you is it's phenomenal. Dandelion root, I was going to say too. I used to give that to people when they had excess of water weight. They were struggling with inflammation in that way too. Dandelion root gets rid of that. And so this is it's a beautiful blend of ingredients to help detoxify. And if you think about it, because we're living in this daily, it makes sense to do 1 to 2 a day. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You could, for a deeper cleanse, you could do 2 at night, 2 in the morning, 2 at night for 5 days if you really wanted to really like get a jump start. But it's not necessary and it's not a laxative. So it's just coming in and it's priming those pumps and allowing them to support a healthy weight and to again, it's like think about a pump, like your kidneys, like think about like remember those pumps in the ground where you would it had a big like lever and you'd push it, right? And you'd pull
Yeah.
it, push it, and you pull it, and then the water comes out. That's kind of like your liver and your kidneys and things like that. So being able to have really good ingredients in there, it's great for urinary tract and all sorts of stuff. So everything that's in here, Dr. Dan, is a genius. And everybody should be on one of these every day.
Yeah.
I take mine in the morning and then I have a coffee and then I go about my day. And again, it's just a beautiful product. The third one and the anti-inflammatory trifecta, is what I
Okay.
call it,
That's
is
great.
the immune support. Because how many of you guys have an immune system?
Yeah, really.
And what level is it functioning at? Right. And that's the thing. Your immune system is directly related to the stress response in your body. Anybody here stressed or know what
Mhm.
stress feels like? Right. Or
Mhm.
maybe you have something chronic going on that puts your body in chronic stress, things like that. So I absolutely love this product because it's got 4 different types of nootropic mushrooms in there. It's got a beautiful blend of aloe and probiotics and things and enzymes for gut health. So we're increasing gut health, which is where I would say 80% of the time where you start to notice you're sick is you ate something or you're around something and it starts in the gut. So really boosting it that way. And this is not an immune booster, it's an immune modulator. There's ingredients in there that have quorum sensing technology. And again, nootropic mushrooms, they help modulate and help the body cope with stress. So this doesn't leave my travel bag. I always have it with
Yeah.
me. You know that because we've traveled
Mhm.
together. I always have the immune and it's phenomenal. I mean, it's amazing. So it works on both the innate and adaptive immune response in the body. So everybody needs that. So that's to me, that's the inflammatory trifecta, right? So
I love
purify,
it. Yeah.
immune, and revive. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. That was so great to see the visual as well, too. I think it's really helpful for people to be able to reach out to the person that invited them to this call to get more information on it. And so it's so important to have that. What would you say for overall daily wellness? Like, what do you
Yeah.
feel is important for that?
Yeah. So everybody needs a good multivitamin, right? And I'm not
Yeah.
talking about a Centrum. So everybody needs a good multivitamin. You'd be
Mhm.
surprised how many times people would be like, "Oh, I've got one." I'm like, "What is it?" "Oh, you bought it from okay." So it's just like they try to get it all in one. Again, why? People are looking for simplicity. Right? We've got it. So this is
Mhm.
simple. It's easy to take Vitalite. It's 5 little caplets, 4 that look the same and one that's an omega complex, right? So it's got an omega 3, 6, 7, 9. It's got 72 organic trace minerals in it, right? It's got 100 million live probiotic on top of that enzymes. So talk about improved gut health as well. This product's phenomenal. It has a berry blend. It's got a green blend in it. Like you're not missing a thing, right? And so I kind of nerded out on this and also kind of laughed at it when I first saw it because at the time, I was being paid lots of money to promote products that like came in AM and PM packs and and it was cocktails of vitamins. I mean, literally I have the pill case. It was like 60 capsules. It was nuts, right? So I would look at all those and I'd be like, I'm a pill queen. And I feel okay. I thought I had the best of the best, but when I started in on Vitalite, how you know if something doesn't have synthetics or fillers or binders or anything like that is you take it on an empty stomach. Okay. So if you take Vitalite on an empty stomach, typically the side benefit is you're getting really good nutrition, you're feeling fuller longer, but you're also not getting sick or nauseous. That doesn't have to be taken with food, like a lot of what they say other supplements might be if you're sensitive to them, because oftentimes those products just fall. They're full of, you know, things that really aren't that great, lower quality, right? With 3, we
Yeah.
get quality over quantity. And so again, these 5 little capsules in here pack a punch, and they're not horse pills, like you know what I mean, like they're an average size, and
Totally.
they just make you
Mhm.
feel good. I had a girlfriend who lost 7 pounds using Vitalite.
Amazing.
All
Mm.
she was doing, So I mean,
Mhm.
it's one of those things where she was just feeling fuller longer, and she has a really high stress job, high profile job. And she would take this at lunchtime because that's when she would remember. And she just started realizing she was coming home from work, making dinner, but not making a second dinner or a snack, and she would just stop eating all night, right? So go
Yeah.
figure, you
Yeah.
might lose some weight. So yeah,
Exactly.
beautiful
That's
result.
amazing. And then what would you say kind of overall? I know everybody's looking for like great, hair, skin, just overall glow and being
Yeah.
well.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we have a trifecta for this as well. So the other one is the Eternal. So the Eternal is an antioxidant super blend, and everybody knows they need antioxidants, right? We need to work to neutralize free radical damage in our body because when do we live in this toxic environment every day, right? So we have to work on that, but you cannot eat enough fruit in the day to get the type of antioxidant benefit that you would be getting out of Eternal. So Eternal is a little pouch. You take the top, you rip it, and you sip it, right? You drink it. And it's a beautiful blend of 10 different super fruits. It has a smidgen of collagen in there. It has 200 milligrams of liposomal resveratrol. It's got liposomal glutathione in there. Everything you could think of, right? It's got acerola cherry, it's got pomegranate, mangosteen, acai berry, right? So all of these, like I have 19-year-old twin girls, right? They got really into like the acai berry bowls, the playa bowls, and they were spending like $20 a bowl. I'm like,
Wow.
how much fruit's actually in that? Like, you know what I mean? How much sugar is actually
Exactly.
is actually
Exactly.
in that? And here you're getting as much sugar as if you had like maybe a small apple, but you're getting all the antioxidant benefit. You can't get enough antioxidants out of acai berry bowl. First of all, where do they come from? Secondly, organic in the United States in particular is not exactly what it means, right? They only have to be hormone and pesticide free for 7 years, so it's not really guaranteeing that the nutrition is there. So having a product like this that the whole family wants, that tastes like berries, it tastes good, it's easy to use, you can keep it in the fridge. I've got girlfriends using this as salad dressing. I've got
Wow.
girlfriends putting this in their yogurt. Do you know what I mean? And we've got kids taking it like before their track meets and whatnot. And the CoQ10 that's in there is heart healthy too. So how many people do you know need, better heart health? How many
Mhm.
people do need an antioxidant benefit like 200 milligrams of resveratrol? I mean, there is an anti-aging expert out of Australia named Dr. David Sinclair, who I follow. And he was literally reverse aging in rats by injecting them with 200 milligrams of liposomal resveratrol daily. So that
Wow.
plus the
Mhm.
glutathione, yeah, your skin's going to be glowing. You're going to get that glutathione glow, but you're going to feel really good. You're going to breathe better. It's a beautiful product.
Yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful.
And the next one in the trifecta is the collagen. I mean, all of these products are like billion-dollar companies, standalone products, but collagen is such a hot topic right now too, right? Everybody and their dog is on some type of collagen, literally. And so I get excited because you have an opportunity to really educate people on the differences in collagen. Collagen is a byproduct. It's a waste product of animals, right? Oftentimes, you're talking chicken, bovine, things like that. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's clean, right? So what happens is, when they go to test a lot of these products, they come back when they find heavy metals in them, they find, not so great stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so here, what Dr. Dan has done is he's put together 5 whole grams of marine collagen. Marine is a type 1 collagen. Those other collagens, typically powdered collagens, they're type 2. Um, Marine collagen type 1 collagen outperforms type 2 every single time scientifically in tests and studies. So you definitely want that kind, but how much is too much, etc. Right? Well, here's the other thing. I mean, a huge portion, about 73% of your body's made up of collagen. You lose 1% every year after the age of 30. So that's why they tell you it makes sense. But with this product, you only take 10 sachets. Again, you rip it, you sip it, tastes like strawberries. You do them 10 days in a row, back to back, and then that's it. You take a break. And everyone's like, I don't understand. Like, why would I take a break? Well, you take a break because the amino acid complex, and this is so powerful, there's specifically one amino acid in there that actually helps stimulate collagen production. So if you do it every day, the body doesn't get stimulated. If you take a break, the body gets stimulated to want to produce collagen on its own. So it's very powerful product. All of our products are very powerful products due to the different delivery modalities. This is liposomal. Yeah. And it's got, ADT, advanced delivery technology, in it as well. Yes, it's got hyaluronic acid, biotin, keratin, all the stuff you would think for hair, skin, nails, but it's just doing so much more for that. I mean, it really is helpful for leaky gut. It helps people sleep at night. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful product. So that's collagen. And then, of course, our newest product, which I'm still getting to know. I mean, there's a lot of science behind this one, but it's a skin serum. So this is the only product we have you don't eat. Okay, guys. And it's called a neurocosmetic, neuro meaning brain, right? Thought, right? And cosmetic meaning it's a serum. You rub it on your skin. And so, yes, it provides a visible reduction in wrinkles. It supports a hydrated complexion. It nurtures existing healthy skin and supports it to, repair better, tackles environmental factors. That's the biggest one I see. I see a lot of people who might have previous sun damage, things like that, that hyperpigmentation that they're getting from the sun damage is lifting. They're not getting a lot of that. It's going away. And it enhances an overall sense of well-being. So that's what they mean by serum of its kind. Very specifically, there are some other neurocosmetics, but not quite in a serum and not the way that this product is put together. I mean, Dr. Dan literally discovered new molecules that are in this product, so that's pretty groundbreaking. But yeah, and so I started in on this. Fortunately, I got to be the test subject for this, and I loved it. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. People thought I had laser treatment done. I hadn't. It's just the product. But I gave it to a girlfriend of mine who runs a 20 booth salon in Utah. And, she's managing hairstylists and massage therapists and nail ladies all day. And, it's really busy work. It's exhausting work. And she's got 3 kids under the age of 5. So imagine, right? She's very, very tired. And I thought she'd be the perfect guinea pig. So I thought, okay, if I send a bottle to her, she'll tell me, right? We've been friends for a long time. She'll really tell me. So I called her back in a week and I'm like, Brookie, what did you think? And she's like, oh my gosh, like I had a little bit of like hormonal acne that went away. People think that I've had laser treatments. They're going, oh my gosh, your skin is glowing. You look amazing. But the biggest thing for her was is she's like, I feel calmer. I feel like I'm sleeping better and I'm like not yelling at my kids as much. So I thought that's perfect.
That's
That is
great.
perfect. That's what you want to hear with Visage.
Yeah.
So exciting stuff there. And I know we've got some new things coming down the pipeline to complete this skincare system, or so it seems. I'm being hypothetical. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
they just announced that on the last call. So I'm excited to see what happens here. And yeah, I mean, all the products are great, my friends. They really are. You can't go wrong with putting any of them in your body. That
Yeah.
they have nothing harmful for you. You know, no artificial anything, right? No
Yeah.
additives, no fillers, no binders, none of that. So it's just really good, clean products. And I think, they're sleek and they're sexy and they can be sitting out on your counter. You're not embarrassed by them, right? Like we have like cupboards full of, nutritional supplements that are being like shoved back, you're not
Yeah.
really using them as much. And here, you could put these out on your counter and your girlfriends come in and ask, what's that? And you get to tell them. It's a lot of fun. So,
I love
sure.
how comprehensive it is. And those stories were amazing. Absolutely.
Mhm.
To hear some of those testimonies and the
Yeah.
experiences that people are having. I would ask you this question. It's a hard one, I think, for you, because I loved everything that you said about all those products. But if you were stranded on an island, what do you think would be the one product that you'd have to have with you?
Oh my gosh. First of all, I would be like all the other products I'd be daydreaming about. They'd be like my Wilson. I would be like thinking about, I'd be like hallucinating about having all of them. I,
Yeah.
gosh, for me, I think it would be Vitalite.
Hmm.
I just feel so much natural energy with it. I feel so good.
Hmm.
There's no stimulants in the product, and yet that's the number one thing I get asked is like, is there caffeine or green tea or something? No. Why do I feel so much energy? Because you're getting nutrition, And so I love that because yeah, you could live off of. I actually tested this. I did a water diet. I did a water cleanse. I don't want to say
Right.
that. I did a water cleanse out of for my own scientific purposes one time. I was taking lots of notes and all this stuff, but I did that. And I after a couple days of nothing but water, I was like, I need Vitality. I'm not gonna make it. And so I started
Wow.
doing Vitality. I started incorporating some of the other products. It was an amazing experience. I like went down 12 pounds, but to me, you always want to know how you're going to go up in water weight after, like, because that's a water issue, right? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was really probably about 6 true pounds. But for me, I felt so good. Every time I took the Vitality, it was like I was complete. I was fine. I really didn't need anything else. So I'm slightly obsessed with Vitality for that reason. But I mean, if you think about it, we spend $3 million a year on testing on our products to make sure that they're safe, they're efficacious, that the potency is there. And
Yeah.
that's the thing, like people are going to their naturopathic doctor and they're being muscle tested. And every time they go in, they're putting them on like 6 products and then they go back, they pull them off 3, then they come back, they put them on 2 more. They're spending hundreds of dollars every single month. These products are not nearly as pricey for that. And it's foundational wellness. And that starts with Vitality. But really, what we're talking about is foundational wellness. And I think that's the key. Most people don't have a solid, stable foundational wellness plan. And you could start with the Vitality and add up into it and have a solid foundational wellness plan with 6 products that you consume and one you put on your face that makes you happier. I didn't go
Amazing.
into the science of that, but I forgot to say that neurocosmetic, it goes 3 layers deep transdermally, but what it does is it actually stimulates neurite lengthening, and it increases the release of serotonin and dopamine. So that's why my girlfriend's like, I've stopped yelling at my kids, so much. It makes you happier and helps you sleep better.
Yeah.
But I forgot to say that. I'm glad I remembered. But yeah, I mean, I don't know anybody who spends the type of money that we spend on testing, to make sure the products are safe and that they work. Truly, the 3 third-party clinical studies are off the charts. If you really want to know, like if you're a doctor, a health professional on here, go ask the person that invited you on to send you the clinical studies. You'll be
Yeah.
mind blown. There's a whole epigenetic study. So I absolutely love the products. I could keep going. I'm gonna stop.
I love it. I love it. Well, I mean, a couple of things. You said so many things so well there, but I think what you're really trying to say is what I saw in pharmaceuticals. I mean, doctors wanted evidence-based medicine, and 3 International has that with all the clinical trials that we have, and there's more to come. And that's what's so exciting. And so you referenced all that, and certainly the person that invited you can get you those materials as well to take a deeper dive into the science, which is amazing. And that's
Sure.
what's not available. And I think we're, three internationals changing the way for that. So I absolutely love that. I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to put you on an island. You can use all the products. I'm not going to take you
I know I like visibly got just I visibly was stressed. I was like,
no, we're
and
not
you
going
know
to
it's
do
so
that.
funny.
I
I
know.
can't help myself from telling everybody that this is my favorite, this is my favorite, this is my they're like, you just said that about the last one. I'm like, I know.
I know. It's so funny. No,
Anyway,
I love the passion that you have in helping others is just so important. I know that's really, really important to you. So I'm gonna
and
bring a
I
couple
just
testimonies on
yeah.
tonight. But I want to go ahead and do that. I'm sorry, were you gonna say something? I'm
No,
sorry.
I was just gonna say, like at the end of the day, I think all of this, all of my passion and enthusiasm for three, and also just wellness in general, just stems from the pure fact that I just want people to be happier and healthier. That's it. That's all I've ever
Yeah.
wanted. I don't know why I took that on as a mission from a young age, but I really do. I just want people to be happy and healthy because I feel
Yeah.
like when you have your health, you have happiness.
Yeah.
If you don't have health, that's rough. It's hard. It's
Yeah.
right up there with air. So,
Well,
anyways,
I know your
okay.
grandfather is certainly looking down at you and so happy that that's what you're doing on your mission. I
Oh,
absolutely love that. So thank
oh,
you. Thank you
thank
for what you
you.
do. So I wanted to have a couple testimonies on tonight and kind of hear their testimonies as well as some of your thoughts, Adrian, on what they're experiencing. And if you can share kind of what's going on in that, that would be awesome. The first person I'm going to bring on is Amy Schenkel from New Jersey. Hello, Amy. Thank you so much for being on. Can you share with us a little bit about you and why you said yes and what you like about three?
Sure. I've always loved health and wellness. I wasn't looking for anything. A friend of mine introduced me to a friend of hers, and we just started chatting. And I was really interested in the collagen. So I like to say I came for the collagen and I stayed for the community.
I
Oh,
love that.
And I had crazy, miraculous changes with the collagen.
Mm.
After taking it for a few days, my skin looked really good and it was glowing. But frankly, I don't go around all day looking at myself in the mirror. What really did it for me, because I'm a 59-year-old active woman, and when you sit down too long and you stand up, the front of your hips are stiff. That stiffness went away. The front of my psoas no longer hurt. And that was unbelievable. So that was really it for me. I also love the Purify because again, since I'm getting older, I can't handle alcohol anymore. So if I have a glass of wine or like a single drink, I don't feel well the next day. So, Purify is kind of a hangover cure for me.
oh my goodness. Yeah.
So yeah. So I really like it for that. Or if you eat something and like you know that the next day it's going to be kind of ugly, like take two purified the night before and you wake up in the morning, not feeling that overindulged bloat.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you, Amy, for that.
Oh,
Wow. Wow. Adrian, can you kind of shed some light on what
Yeah.
she's experiencing for us and all? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the collagen can really be life-changing. I mean, for a lot
Mhm.
of people, yeah, you might see it in your skin first, as usual, people see it, but it is doing so much more than that. It is helping with repair and recovery and in all ways. So that's why you're experiencing that. And then the other thing with the Purify is the Purify, that humic shell. Like if you eat something you shouldn't, that doesn't make you feel very good, it soaks it right up. It's better than deactivated charcoal. It really is that good. And so having all those beautiful ingredients there, I do the same thing. If I've, maybe overindulged a bit, I always go take 1 to 2 purified before I go to bed because also a lot of people who struggle with heartburn and things like that, like they know it's going to be ugly headache wise, but also heartburn wise or, acid reflux, it totally gets rid of that. So, I mean, for me, that's what it's done. And so I can see why you're excited about it too, because you should be living life. You should be living life, right? And so having a product like that, it's just so flexible. Like, yeah. So yes, it's for detox at the same time. It's just so good for anything that's going on that you like need to get rid of daily. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Thank you, Amy, for sharing that. And thank you, Adrian, for that explanation. That was so great. Thank you so much. Next, I'm going to bring on another great gal, Brenda Carbone. Brenda, hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you? Can you share a little bit with
Good.
us tonight?
I can. Thank you for having me. So I, like you, Adrian, I've always been not quite, was never a model in bathing suits or anything like that, but always into health,
Overrated.
wellness, and the gym, and my whole life. So was always into supplements and spending a ton of money. But as I got older, I did learn that like the cellular, absorbing your body at the cellular level and all of that. And I just started educating myself more. And so when Carrie introduced me to three, she started sending me like some Dr. Dan videos. And then I started really like, oh, okay, well, we're onto something here, and just a lot more that I never knew. And I started following him on social media and I loved his little tidbits. So for me, it was truly like a no-brainer. I was like, these are in the PDR, that speaks for itself. Um, everything about it, third party tested. I mean, these are things that if you do take a ton of supplements, that's just not the fact with any of the other ones. So for me, that was like a huge, huge selling point. I did mention it to my doctor. I get terrible migraines. I mentioned that to you guys. The Revive has been huge for me with that. Also, when we saw you, Adrian, I was telling you how I take the Purify in the morning, and I would wake up, take two in the morning first thing, but I have terrible heartburn. And
Yeah.
so now I take one at night and one in the morning, and I've not taken a Tums since. So it was like, and I didn't even know that. So that was something I just recently found out. But so it's just been, like for me, just those things alone are huge. I take them all. I love them all. My family members are on. My daughter, she's 19. She takes the Eternal as well. She had like a pretty strenuous job this summer. I would put them in the freezer for her, and by the end of the day, they would be defrosted and she can eat them. So yeah, I mean, I just think they all speak for themselves. They're wonderful. And they've made me just feel good inside and out, energy wise, my headaches. I mean, I could go on, the list goes on.
I love that. Thank you, Brenda. What a
Yeah.
beautiful story. Yes, Adrian, can you share with us a little?
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that Revive is helping with your migraines. You know, what's in there, you would have to eat. Okay, so this is so cool. I remember Dr. Dan telling this to me because he's the genius here. But I said to him, I said, what is so special about the liposomal turmeric or the curcumin in Revive? Like, how much are we really getting? Kind of a thing is really what I was asking. And he said, a lot. And I said, well, like, what's a lot? Because, I have friends who cook with a lot of turmeric because they know the health benefits of it. They're doing turmeric shots, things like that. He goes, well, those are all good. But, this really is very potent. He goes, with the liposomal delivery technology, you would have to eat 3 pounds of food grade turmeric to get what's in 2 capsules of Revive. So that like really brought it home for me. Now, why are people seeing such incredible results? You know, having headaches, things like that, having, different types of aches and pains in the bodies and things like that. They see a dramatic result because they're getting that anti-inflammatory response very quickly. With it has most products have one or two different types of delivery modalities, maybe usually just one. Revive has one, two, three, I believe three or four different delivery modalities to get all of those nutrients into your body very quickly. So to me, it's like nature's NSAID, I mean, it really is. And so we've seen miraculous results on Revive for that reason. And that's the reason there's a whole study on it. Yeah. Why
Yeah.
do we get headaches? It's inflammation. Why do they tell you to ice the back of your neck or the front of your head or, things like
Yeah.
that? It's inflammation, right?
And that's exactly where my migraines start, are like right back here. Yeah.
Yeah, typical.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I've done the same thing with Revive, FYI. I know one time I was really tired, stressed out, traveling, all that. I went and took a big ice pack, put it behind my head. I could feel the migraine coming on. I was already closing one eye, kind of a thing. I took two Revive and I was just waiting, 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 waiting. Yeah, 30 minutes, I was ready to go. So it
Exactly.
really can be that fast. Drink lots of water, obviously. The Purify, same thing. Yeah, I remember you telling me about your acid reflux too.
Yep.
I use this product for that same reason. And then,
Which I would never have thought that ever. I mean, it's been wonderful in other areas and other ways. But when you
yeah.
ever said that, I'm like, oh, I'm going to try that. So now I just do one in the morning and one at night. And I have a very sensitive stomach. I take all of these products on an
Mm.
empty stomach, and I've never been nauseous at all on any of
Yeah.
it.
A
So,
Purify is such a super product.
yeah.
And think about how many people who are on like antacids. you know, omeprazole and all that other stuff. I can't tell you how many times. Yeah, and it's not healthy long term. It's even worse, right?
Even
So
Tom's
humic
and
shell
like
in there.
taking that.
Exactly. Yeah. So you've got the humic shell in there. You've got the coriander, the kelp and the apple, the liposomal milk thistle, the mullein leaf, the stinging nut, like all of that, the chlorophyll, all of that just is such a 1-2 punch for anything that you could be coming up against digestive wise and who need to detox. And that's exactly what that product does. I mean, yeah. So I'm not surprised you're feeling like $1,000,000. I love it. I love hearing your story because it's so similar. But yeah, it's working. It's working. So
I love it.
I'm
Highly
happy
recommend.
experiencing that. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, Brenda. That's a
You're
beautiful
welcome. You're
story.
welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, that was great. Awesome. Thank you, Adrienne.
Good.
Next up, we have our last testimony for tonight is Chris DeVivo from New Jersey. Come on, Chris. Love to hear
Hi,
your
everyone.
story.
How are you? Hi. Yes, thanks for having
Hi.
me on. Appreciate it. Um, my story, I come at this from a totally different point of view. About 10 years ago, I read an article where a doctor asked his patients, "What's your biggest regret?" And he was expecting to say, "Oh, I can't spend time with my family," stuff like that. He said, no, they were all concerned about how horrible they felt as they got older.
Yeah.
So I wanted to start supplementing early so that I could avoid that very thing. So, I mean, I tried lots of different collagens, but the only one that really seemed to work, and it seemed to work even better in conjunction with Vitalite because of
Yeah.
some of the ingredients there, it helps you absorb it better, was the collagen. And, you
Mhm.
know, I've been doing my job for over 4 decades. I just turned 60, and I haven't felt this good in 10 years. Much better
Wow.
since I started supplementing. I mean, the fact is that our soils are so depleted, you can't really find good food. So you absolutely have to supplement. And Vitalite and collagen for me, just knock it out of the park. There's really,
Mm.
there's no comparison. And I tried all the powders and things like that. And to me, it was just a waste. This
Yeah,
is, this is clearly the best for me. Clearly.
Oh.
I love it, Chris. Thank you so much. What do you think about
You're
that,
welcome.
Adrienne? Love to hear your thoughts.
I mean, I'm happy to hear it. I'm happy to hear how invested you were in your health. I mean, it's scary getting older, right? If you know that you're in an uphill battle against all sorts of things that maybe you've really played hard, too, and your body's like, oh, it doesn't feel the same as it did when you were younger, right? Or if you have a stressful work environment, things like that, it takes a toll. So I'm happy that you were researching and that you're like, I don't just want to use anything. I want to use something that works. And 3 totally works, right? So that's something I absolutely love about these products is hearing stories like yours where you're like, I was looking for the best. I found the best. I've never felt this good in my life. Right. So that all
Absolutely.
makes sense to me. The collagen is huge. It is absolutely going to recover and repair any type of tissue issues and damage and all that kind of stuff. You absolutely probably love that product for that reason. Vitalite, I get it. Like it's one, like I told it, that's the one I was going to take on an island because I can't get that much nutrition in a day, right? You're going to eat this much food in your day and you're only getting this much nutrition. And Vitalite totally changes that. You take 5 little caplets, you get this much nutrition. And all of a sudden you're like, well, I feel like $1,000,000. I feel good. I don't need a second, third, fourth cup of coffee in my day. You just feel good. So I'm happy that you're experiencing such incredible results. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing those with us.
Oh, amazing. I'm so excited that you guys all got to share. Can I bring back all of our panelists today? If you can please come on the screen. I just want to take a moment to thank you so much for coming on this Wellness Wednesday and, for really sharing your stories to also just impact and share around the world what's happening for you because people know other people or themselves that they want to hear and change their life. And so this has really just been a wonderful Wellness Wednesday. Adrienne, thank you so much for all of your in-depth information as it relates to all the products and the knowledge that you have was so, so very helpful. So I just want to thank everyone for coming on tonight. You're absolutely amazing, and you've really done a fantastic job in sharing with us tonight. So thank you. Please reach out to the
Thank
person
you.
that invited you to this call. And every Wednesday we have a beautiful Wellness Wednesday call. So we look forward to having you come back next Wednesday for another great call. But thank you again, everyone. It was wonderful to
Thank
see
you.
all of you guys tonight.
Thank you, everyone. Let's be healthier and happier. All